just like hurts my spirit. When you don't want to wake up, you don't want to work, you don't want to talk. Like, I'm just like, why does this keep happening to me? And I feel so stuck. I don't want to be there anymore. I just can't. I'd rather struggle and fight.
You saw the video. I am not well, bitch. As Dorinda would say from the Real Housewives of New York. Anyway, I just wanted to start this video by telling you who I am, because it's oftentimes with so much going on in our lives, trying to stay ahead with our careers, our jobs, our lives, our families, our friends, our boyfriends, our girlfriends, we sometimes forget who the fuck we really are. And we are bad bitches. So anyway, with that being said, I want to do this video to not only remind myself of who I am, but I want to remind the world. And not to sound cocky or arrogant, because that's not what the point of the video is. The point of the video is that we oftentimes are just so wrapped up in the everyday life, in the weeds of life, that we forget who we are. And when you forget who you are, your self-esteem can take a blow. And that's exactly what happened yesterday. I literally had forgotten who the fuck I was. I forgot that I grew up with a mother and a father that divorced. And then I watched my mom, a single mom of two kids, I watched her raise me. And not only did I watch her raise me, I watched her fight. I watched her struggle. I watched her battle her inner demons, her childhood trauma. I watched this beautiful black woman, who's no longer with us, by the way. I lost her 5 years ago. If you're a regular watcher here, you know that. But if you're new, I lost my mom. And I have not been the same since, to be honest with you. But that lady is who taught me how to be the strong-willed person I am today. And there's a specific memory that is seared into my soul, y'all. We were in an airport. I don't remember where, maybe San Francisco. And this is quintessential Lynette, my mom. Like, this is so my mom, doing the most and just trying to care for her babies. I don't know what we had. We had some like juice. She was carrying like some big glass jar of juice or some shit. I don't fucking know. I have no idea why we were doing this. This was obviously before 9/11. You could travel with liquids, which sounds kind of crazy to even think about. I'm talking, this was a jar like this size, right? We're walking through the airport. It falls and breaks. I'm like a child, like I'm a baby, like a kid. My brother's 4 years older than me. He's staring at her like, what are you doing? What are you gonna do? I'm looking like I don't know what to do. He's older than me, but we're both kids. And it's like, that moment is seared into my mind for some reason. And it's like, she sprung into action. She sprung into action. She was showing us what we should do when shit hits the fan. That was a lesson being taught right there. And I'll never forget it because it was just so like seared and etched into my cloth. And yesterday when I woke up with that insane breakdown, which I'm not one that's like a crier really on the internet, first off. Secondly, I'm not one that shows emotion too much on the internet. So I'm being vulnerable here. So I hope people are kind, and I hope people understand that it's okay to cry, and it's okay to not be okay. Even if you're a strong-willed person, like I consider myself to be, it's okay. It is okay. We're all just trying to survive. And the reason why I do this is because of my mom. And because of those stories like that, I have so many more, you know? That lady was a strong fucking woman. And I know that I can be just as strong as she was, you know? And I don't want to cry anymore. But it's just, when your back is up against the wall, you have to remember that you are that bad bitch still, even through it all, right? And it's like, sorry, I'm looking down at my notes. I'm not like trying to ignore you guys. We're human. And sometimes we do fall, and that's okay. And we pick ourselves back up. We take our little bruised egos and our bruised self-esteem. And ultimately, you know that you know who you are. You just have to remind yourself of it sometimes. And I have not fought the corporate beast, if you will, for over 10 years to just let it go blow up in my face. I have not, moved to Los Angeles with $0 in my bank account and got to the Sony lot in Culver City working for Wheel of Fortune, America's game show. I did not fight to go to a career that I was so passionate about, social media, to have it blow up in my face. I grew up loving social media. That's so weird to say out loud. I grew up loving the internet. I grew up fascinated by all of the mechanics that go with computers, the internet. I was like big on MSN. They shot a whole commercial at my house. Like, that's how passionate I am about media and new media specifically. And that's why I wanted to be in it. We have to remind ourselves that fuel, that passion, that fight that we had back in the day when we're up against the wall. Because at the end of the day, nobody can take that fight and that fuel and that passion away from you. They can't. As much as they try, they can't. And I remember being that little boy, little guy, young adult on the Sony lot, working with one of the most prolific Black women in television, in entertainment, Queen Latifah. That was me. I did that. Not somebody else who may be chastising me or ridiculing me or belittling me. They didn't do that. That was me. And that was me that took all of that knowledge that I learned from working with Queen Latifah. Very nice woman, by the way. Extremely nice. Very dedicated to her craft and just so warm and so lovely. I mean, I met anybody from Martha Stewart to Snoop Dogg to viral sensations, like drag queens. I was there. Me. And it's hard sometimes when you're in that moment because those were stressful, long days. Like, we were working like 14-hour days, y'all. Blood, sweat, and tears were had. Like, I'm not even kidding you. There were days where I was just like, oh my God, we are still in the office. It's like 9, 10, 11, 12, 1. And they were like, we got to stay till this is done. This was the agency that we were working for. And then we got hired in-house because they fired the agency child because the agency was a mess, And it's like, I can never be so grateful for that opportunity because that is what catapulted my social media career and my career in general in marketing. Because after that, when the show was canceled, I was without a job. I didn't know what the hell I was gonna do. And we have to remind ourselves of those times when we were really, really down and out. Like, I thought I was gonna have to move back home. I was claiming unemployment, making like, I don't know, they were giving me like maybe $1,600. I don't even know. It was so low of an amount for 6 months that I was literally eating ramen noodles every day. It was awful. But I knew what I had to do. I had to remind myself of the fight that my mom instilled in me. And she would check on me every day, y'all. Do you have a job yet? And I'm like, no, girl, I still don't have a job. But what I started doing is I started writing for BuzzFeed on the community section of their website. And I feel like this is what I have to remind myself of now that I'm in this predicament with work, which I'm being a little, I'll get to more about that towards the end of the video, but I am being a little like mysterious about it because it's still ongoing, okay? It's still ongoing. But I started writing articles for BuzzFeed community section because anybody can do that. And I started doing that on late night TV when Jimmy Fallon had just started his show. It was an incredible sensation. He would go viral every night. And so would my articles. Well, baby, I wanted to work there. And I'll forget, Bryce Sander, who now works at Entertainment Tonight. Hey, Bryce, told me that you need to just write for community. That's how they hire. And I was like, thankful for that. And hey, shout out to Mizzou, because Mizzou Mafia will stick together, honey. We always look out for our people. I have a call tomorrow with somebody from Mizzou, a young lady, and I mentor a lot of people. I was an adjunct professor recently, which I'll talk about in a second too. So it's like when one instance of somebody beating you down or trying to beat you down, we have to remind ourselves, no, bitch, beat me down? Do you know what I've done? That's why I'm going through it. So y'all just know, like, and please tell me I was crazy for crying like that, because I need some reassurance, clearly. But no, I got a job at BuzzFeed, and I went on to run one of the most successful social media operations in the history of Facebook, and that is Tasty. My boss was like, oh, you like food? Perfect. Let's get you on that account. We didn't know anything. We didn't know what the hell was going on. Videos were blowing up overnight, millions of views, hundreds of millions of views. We didn't know what the hell was going on. But video was popping the fuck off. Forgive me for the F, you know. But video was exploding. People were watching. Let me make sure this is recording. If it ain't, I'm gonna cry. How long is it? Okay, that's good. Video was exploding, and more people were posting video. We were experimenting. Okay, so this is how Tasty started, right? Tasty started on accident. We were just testing videos and throwing videos up with various different subject matters. And obviously food is universal. You have to have food to eat and to survive, to live, to thrive. And so some of the videos were food recipes. They were so janky, child. They were so bad. So bad. But you always start off like that, right? When you do anything, when you do business, you start off not knowing shit. You don't know anything. You don't know if it's gonna fail or succeed. And when you got that signal that it succeeded, we were like, holy shit, we have a success on our hands. Let's create a food vertical, you know, for food. And we got in a room. I remember Eugene coming up with the idea, I think, for Tasty, the name. Don't quote me on that. And we started the page. And honey, Facebook loved us. They throttled our videos, I'm pretty sure, because they were just blowing up. There was no way like that was just human organic nature. There's no way. And over millions of shares were happening. It was crazy, you guys, like unbelievable. And that was all me. I wasn't making the videos, but I was posting them and coming up with that strategy and coming up with the strategy for all the other pages that came after it. Proper Tasty, Tasty Junior, Snapchat, selling millions of dollars of cookbooks. Y'all, I was looking at the numbers coming in and I'm like, why are y'all only paying me $85,000? Yes, I was making quite a few pennies there. which I applaud myself for. I was probably one of the most highest paid people there in my like area and like whatever. Who about money? That's not what this video is about. But I say all of that to say that was me. And that was me that got the phone call from MTV to go run their whatever they were trying to get done, child. That's the funny thing about corporate, baby. Nobody knows what they're doing. Nobody knows what they want. Nobody knows what they're doing. Fake it till you make it, child. If I could give you any advice from this video, it's fake it till you make it. Except know a little something. Because please, we do not need any more dumb people in this society or in this corporate America situation. Anyways, the job for MTV, got that, stayed there a year. Before all of that happened, I had followed Tamron Hall on Twitter after watching her on the Today Show, Today's Take. Remember they had that third hour with Willie Geist, Tamron Hall, and Al Roker. You could not get better television than that. They had incredible chemistry. Incredible. I woke up, because I watch KTLA in the morning. Like, I was a KTLA girl, boy, whatever you want to call me. I loved KTLA. Loved Sam. Rest in peace. I loved them. But one morning, I had turned on the Today Show, and I said, who the hell is this lady? She's incredible. She's beautiful. She's intelligent. She's giving us the news that we need to hear. And it's in a funny, digestible, relatable way. Well, she also looks like me. She's black. Huh, wow. You rarely see that. Anyway, so I followed her on Twitter immediately. I said, let me follow this lady. And she's from Texas. I'm also from Texas. I said, oh my God. I think because I started Googling her to see like what was up with her. I think she went to the same black church that I went to Texas in Fort Worth. Our Mother of Mercy with my dad. And we talked and the whole first Donald Trump, shared laughs and whatever about the latest news here and there, blah, 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 blah. Fast friends. And I said, if there's ever an opportunity to work for you, I would love that. And it happened. I got that job for myself, though. She didn't help me. She helped me get the interview, but then I got that job for myself. I interviewed with Bill Getty and Bill Burton of ABC. Now, I got a damn interview with executives at ABC Disney. Me! Okay, those are the rooms that I occupied in my career, not just some willy-nilly rooms, okay? I have to remind myself that, I forgot. Holy shit, that's badass. It's badass. And I was nervous as hell, y'all. And my lips are quivering thinking about it. I'm sitting next to Bill fucking Getty, the creator of The View, my favorite show at the time. I'm like, Bill fucking Getty. I was freaking the fuck out, y'all. Nervous as hell. Nervous. But I aced the interview, and then I took my ass to Europe. I wasn't doing nothing at MTV, child. They did not know what they wanted to do. It was just working there also had me feeling hella imposter syndrome because I knew that I knew what I knew my shit, but they didn't know their shit. So it made me feel like I didn't know what I was talking about. Like, you hired me to create Tasty at MTV. Okay, well, I'm bringing you all the secrets from the sauce, and you're not listening. Well, I can't help you. I don't know what to tell you. You wanted me to do this, so I'm over here to do that, and you over here telling me that you want to do this way. Well, this is not the same thing. So that's not what you want. So you need to tell me what you want then. Okay, wait, never mind. I'm actually going over to New York City, honey. And I moved to, I was like, what the hell is going on? 2019. August 2019, moved to New York City. Then my life changed and the whole world's life changed. In November of 2019, my mom passed away. While I had just started my dream job, I finally am running a full department for a nationally syndicated television show. Broadcast in the world, because it was in Canada and a couple other places in Africa Yeah, I'll say worldwide, honey. I was worldwide. We were worldwide. And it was of my fucking life. I was working with someone that I thought was my friend. And I was building something for a nationally syndicated television show. Who gets to say that? Like, wow. And I'm working with Bill Getty, who is literally one of the most prolific producers in daytime television. Wow. Like, I have to remind myself, I'm glad I'm doing this exercise with y'all because you forget because you're so in the weeds. Remember I said that at the beginning. So anyway, you know, Bill Getty got fired, which was unfortunate because, I mean, it's Bill Getty. Anyway, that's not my business. Don't need to gossip about that. How there is articles you can read about all of that time was so tumultuous between Tamron and Bill. It was a mess. Anyway, then this other lady came in, Talia, and that was also not seen eye to eye as well. So she left. Then another lady came in, Candy from The View. She was awful. She got me fired. But before she got me fired, I had a mental breakdown because you know what happened? COVID. COVID happened. I got COVID. I had to work while I had COVID, which was illegal. I haven't even talked about that, but it's true. It was illegal. You can't have somebody working while they're on their deathbed. And I had it bad, but I had to work. So whatever. What do you do? No, I'm not work. You just got to kind of do it. And that's how that business is. So I was so glad to leave it. And so long story short, I got fired the week we buried my uncle, mind you, Uncle Thomas. Buried him. I was at home with my dad because we were just kind of like, helping my cousin out with everything after because she was an only child. She had no siblings. And her dad just died. And her mom, had a stroke. She's disabled. So we were there to help her get back on her feet. And I had experience with it, unfortunately, losing a parent at a young age. Suddenly, too. Both sudden deaths, both heart attacks. Mental health in those situations it is so important. And keeping up on it. And not belittling someone because they might be dropping the ball a bit more. But it's in good reason because they're going through something. COVID was happening. We were working from home. My mom had passed away a year earlier. Now my uncle passed away. My aunt was dying of cancer. I was going through a tumultuous breakup. I had a breakdown. I literally had a breakdown, y'all. The ambulance arrived at my home, knocked on my door, which was weird, came in, picked me up I wasn't on the floor anymore. I walked to the door. I picked myself up off the floor, child. And I went to the hospital. I was exhausted. I had exhaustion. I had a breakdown, y'all. Like just a fucking mental breakdown. Like 5150 status. And you know what's crazy? I didn't even have the ambulance bill. I never saw that ambulance bill. Because it was during COVID, right? I think maybe New York City was like covering it or something. I don't know, child. They should have because we paid enough to live there. Anyway, I say all that to say, you never know what somebody is going through. And they fired me at a time when my life was super low. But I was grateful. It was a grateful thing to happen because I was already looking for a new job anyway. And when they fired me the Thursday, I think, I got hired the Friday at my new job, which was also a disaster. Like, that era of jobs was just a shitstorm. I stayed at that job for 6 months because I dealt with racism there. And the racism that I was dealt with was insane. Again, I was hired to do a social media strategy. I did it. The numbers were there. Their numbers were all up. Huge success. Get denied of my bonus, which was like a 20% bonus or some shit. It's like, I was making buttloads of money there. They were paying me crazy. I was making almost $200K. It was crazy, y'all. But she didn't like me, that white lady, child. Australian. Whatever. She ain't there anymore either. Oh, also, Candy also got fired after I got fired too. So there's that. Karma is a bitch. And then she tried to add me on LinkedIn, denied. Add me on Instagram, declined. Do not think I have forgotten. I'm a petty Betty. No, ma'am. No, ma'am. No, I'm sorry. I can't. I'm petty. In that kind of situation, you fired me for no reason because the job was being done. I just needed some assurance. I needed empathy. I needed respect. And I feel like we completely lost all of that in the workplace. So I literally said, I'm done with corporate America. Started my own thing. Let me just make sure this is still recording. So I started my own thing because I said, I have to work for myself. No one is understanding me. I'm not having success. People don't know what they want in the corporate world. I don't know what it is. I don't have time to figure out that. And no amount of money in the corporate world is worth the stress and the drama. Like, who cares? I'd rather put up with bullshit at a place that literally doesn't care about me. My own business in New York City was successful for 2.5 years. I made over $150,000 each year. Year over year was improving on that money. Had months where I was making 5 figures. Rolling in dough, I was making money off of digital products. I was making money off of one-on-one consultation. I was so happy that I finally fucking did it for myself. Do you know how incredibly hard that was for me? I literally, you guys, grew up in my head creating businesses and shit. I had my own newspaper that I would give my mom. Like, I literally was like an entrepreneur as a kid. I would create websites. I would create fake businesses, fake websites. Like, I wanted to be an entrepreneur, and I finally did it. I was shook. And I still have the business, and honey, we're getting back to that because it's still a mess. So the thing about going into your business for yourself is ultimately you're the only worker, right? Or unless you hire someone. I didn't hire anyone. I had all the work by myself. And ultimately it becomes a little exhausting. And also the work was drying up. Because after 2.5 years, it was kind of like, okay, wait, shit, it's drying up. And I was living in New York paying $3,000 a month for rent. $3,300, child. It's still jarring to say out loud. And I'm like, why did I do that? Because if I wouldn't have been doing that and living somewhere, you know, like Mexico, I could have been saving all of that money and I would be good right now. Or I would have been able to buy something. But whatever, we live and we learn. We make mistakes and we have to learn from those mistakes. And that's what this video is for. I hope I'm teaching you something along the way with telling this story. And if you're still watching, smash the subscribe button because this is what we're doing here now. Like, I gotta reconfigure the channel because we got to move and shake now. Now and the reason why I'm in that now is because I'm back to wanting to be for myself. Because no one will fight for you the way you will fight for yourself. No one will care for you the way you will care for yourself. And no one will respect you, believe it or not, more than you can respect yourself. And you should always bet on yourself. Because at the end of the day, you know yourself the most. And you know your potential. And you know your shit. Don't let anyone tell you differently. This is a testament to that. No, not just anybody can start their own business or start their own thing. It's not for the weak. I had days where I cried, sobbed, woke up scared, woke up nervous, freaking out, panicking. Child, it was a mess. But I was happy. Happy as a clam. Because I had that financial freedom, I had that work-life balance. Because I had work-life balance. Now that I'm in my current situation at an agency again, I don't have work-life balance. There's none of that. There's no boundaries. There's no respect. There's no empathy. There's no understanding. I feel like a fucking robot half the damn time. That's not how I want to live. Let me back up a bit. So anyway, work was drying up and I was like, shit, I need to figure out a plan B. Because baby, I always have a plan. A, B, C, D, E, F, G, H, I, J, K, L, M, O, P, Q, R, S, T, U, V, W, X, Y, Z. Okay? Because you ain't finna get me, catch me slipping. No, ma'am. I'm black and gay. You think I can be slipping? And I know my shit. I can never be caught slipping. I always have a plan B and C and, etc. I'm not gonna go through the alphabet again, don't worry. You know what I'm saying? So I was like, shit, let me meet with this guy that runs this agency and out in LA while I was out in LA for something else. I don't even remember why I was there. I really don't remember. Oh, I was there for a friend's birthday. That's what it was. I was like, let me meet with him. So I met with him, we clicked, we linked, and I started working for this agency, and it was good in the beginning. There were some red flags, but the red flags continued to get higher and higher and higher, and now they're exploding. And I need to go. I need to go. I need to get back to me. I need to get back to the basics of me. I need to get back to fighting for me, because that made me feel something. I don't want to fight for no fucking body else's company. I know my shit. And at the end of the day, I know my shit better than them, quite frankly. So I should reward myself by fighting for myself, because nobody else is going to reward you. You just paying their damn bills at the end of the day. And they're not going to be grateful. They just look at you as a number, and it's like, it's sick. It's disgusting to be in that situation like that. And that's all I have to say. I am going back to me. We oftentimes forget about ourselves because we're always in the rat race and chasing something. And it's like, no, stop, pause, hold on. I'm doing this for me. This is mine. What did Whitney Houston say? This is mine. The Whitney fans will know what reference it's from. Yeah, that's in a long-winded way. I've been through a lot, and I think I have weathered every storm the best way that I can. Have I pissed people off along the way? Probably. Will I piss off more people? Most likely. But at the end of the day, that's not the goal. The goal is for me to be happy. At the end of the day, the goal is to be happy in life. And now I remember why my mom, my dad always said, I just want you to be happy. I get it. I also remember why my mom would always say, I just want peace. Because, babes, what is going on? Can we just get some peace? So I know this video is a little longer than usual, but I wanted to share all of this because I don't feel like I've really been talking about myself on here. And this channel is about, black gay boy abroad. And it's all positive and blah, blah, blah. But babes, what the fuck? No, that's not really me. So we're going to peel off the mask now, which I should have done from the jump, and really get real and talk about some real shit. Because that's what it is right now. We've got to help each other. We've got to build each other up. This community here, already strong, needs to get stronger. Because everybody's going through shit. And I hope my story helps you get through what you're going through. Because you can get through it. You just need to remind yourself of what you know, how much you know, and who you know, and who you've known. You are a bad bitch. At the end of the day, we just forget it though, again, because we're in the weeds. So I closed by saying, thank you for listening to this story. Let me know any thoughts, questions, concerns, job offers, anything in the comments. Run them numbers up down there. Because it's hard being vulnerable. It's hard exposing your life on the internet and opening yourself up to critique. And I hope people do that respectfully, because I don't know when I'm going to be sharing again if y'all don't. And there might be 5 people that watch this. But at least 5 people heard me. Because at the end of the day, all we want to do is be heard as humans. And when you shut that down, you really dim someone's light. So think about that the next time somebody is trying to tell you something. And I could be better about that myself. So I want to close by saying thank you again so much for watching. And again, hit me in those comments. I'll respond to everything. Y'all know that's how I do here. And make sure you subscribe if you're not subscribing, because this is what we do here. The channel has evolved and evolved and evolved. It will continue to evolve. So I'll see you in the next one. Peace.